What the is happening here? $14 for one pound of coffee? Bullshit.
Can somebody explain to me in crayon eating terms why I make over 3 times the federal minimum wage and I cannot afford to live? And I do not want to hear the pull yourself up from your bootstraps, work 90 hours a week. That's not the goal, guys. That should not be our standard. I am so fucking tired of people being complacent with this uniparty, both of them fucking us over. When my parents were my age, they both made less than half of what I make, and they lived alone. I cannot afford to live anywhere alone. A 1-bedroom apartment, $1,800. 2-bedroom apartment, $2,200. Who the fuck can afford that? It is embarrassing to come out and say that it is a struggle to survive right now, but I know so many people are struggling. And do not get me started on what my grandparents were doing. They $3,000 house. And yes, I understand inflation and all of the bullshit that they have been pulling with the Fed. Why are we allowing it? Why? And then I clock out of my shift. I am tired. I have to go home. And I check the news. Another 60 fucking billion to a country nobody can point out on a map. What are we doing? Where has the plot gone? We have lost it, folks. We have fucking lost it. The American dream is dead. It is over. Gone and forgotten.
My beautiful family, welcome back to my YouTube space. I love you all and I thank you all for standing with me and always listening, always sharing your wisdom in the comment section. Now, today's topic is somehow deep and it is raw because from the videos I'm going to show you of white Americans being shocked with the economy. They are crying, they are regretting their votes. And it is something that black people have lived with it for centuries, the economy falling apart. So white people, they didn't understand because personally I think it's because of the whiteness, the privilege. And that's why they never lived a day to see a day like this, what's happening right now in their country. Family, the financial struggles, the uncertainty, the fear of losing homes, the fear of losing jobs, the fear of security, all these things that have white Americans panicking, all these things are not new to black Americans, are not new to black people. They are simply experiencing a reality that has been normal for black people since the very beginning of America. Watch these clips here and then we go continue.
$14
Yep. Welcome to Donald Trump's America. This is the impact of Donald Trump's tariffs. He thinks he can strong arm all of these countries by imposing all of these high tariffs without realizing just how much it impacts everyday Americans. For someone like him that doesn't live paycheck to paycheck and doesn't have to worry about making ends meet, he'll never understand. And it's affecting not just Americans, but American businesses. Ford and GM, 2 of America's biggest car manufacturers, literally ended up losing all of the profits they made in the second quarter. They're estimated to lose over $1 billion. And it's only going to get worse. So, if you voted for Trump, then you voted for this.
Somebody explain to me in crayon eating terms why I make over 3 times.
But you still can't pay the rent? You have owners. Your owners want more money for themselves and nothing else. They do not care if you are happy. They do not care if you are safe. They do not care if you are stable. They want money for themselves. So when they see your wage go up, they raise your rent because it's about wealth extraction. And the moment you are not able to give them any more money, the moment they are not able to extract wealth from you, they will abandon you, and you will go and live in the street. This is an age of rebellion, and I suggest we get to it.
Me and my wife went and did the pre-approval process for a mortgage loan yesterday, and what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't upset me for us because we aren't the average American family. I work a very niche job in the oil field. I make a very good income. My wife is a nurse. She does very good for herself, and combined, we have a very comfortable living in our home. But for the average American, this is way fucking far out of reach. In our area, we live in East Texas, okay? A good home is gonna be at least $400,000, if not $450,000 to $500,000, okay? I try to explain this to my mom. She's telling me, oh, y'all just go get you a little $200,000 house. Mama, these $200,000 houses are fucking rundown shack. We're looking at the numbers, looking at our income, looking at our credit, and they have us at $450,000, 5% down, which is $22,000. Thank God we got a little bit of money saved. They have our mortgage after PMI, after insurance, after taxes at $4,636 a month. What the fuck are you talking about, okay? And the thing is, we could afford it. We actually could afford to spend that money on a mortgage every month. But a $5,000 mortgage? Who are y'all selling these fucking houses to? Because we are outliers, okay? Not everybody is fortunate to have the jobs that we have. What about the regular fucking families that bring in combined $100,000 a year? They will never qualify for this. What the fuck is
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable. And there are people that they know this, but then they'll still look at somebody else that's struggling and then tell them they're not doing good enough. I want you to imagine somebody that makes $75,000 a year. That's a pretty high up wage in terms of like top earners in this country, $75,000 a year. And we're going to go through some things here. This is a person with no debt outside of a car. And please don't hit me with the, you can go buy a car for, shut up, you can't, shut up, stop saying ridiculous things. An entry-level decent car is $30,000. So this person who puts $200 a month into insurance and they pay 5% into their 401k because shut up, people should be able to put money into their retirement. Because if you're not doing it now, you're never going to get to start doing it later. So after those two things come out of their paycheck, and their taxes are paid, they bring home $53,850 a year from a $75,000 paycheck. Average rent in my state for a one-bedroom apartment, because an adult should be able to live by themselves, $1,700. That car payment at 6% for an entry-level, very reasonable sedan, nothing fancy, that car payment's $579 a month. Car insurance, $240 or so a month for a lot of vehicles in this day and age. You're a young person, you've got a nice job, but the insurance companies still want to screw you over. Food. You only cook at home. You never, ever go out. You only cook at home and you only eat decent quality food because a human being should be allowed to eat decent quality food. You pay $879 a month for that. You spend $250 a month in gas. You wear and tear on your car $100 a month. $80 for your phone, $80 for your internet, $175 a month for your electricity, $70 for your water, $20 for your cash. You make $75,000 a year, and outside of a car payment, you have zero debt. Do you know how much money you have left over annually at a $75,000 wage? You do nothing. You don't own a Netflix. You don't go out on a date. You don't pay to go to a park. You don't go watch a movie. You do nothing. If you can't find it on the internet for free, you don't get to do it. If you can't cook it at home for your $800, you don't get to do it. You have $3,700 left over annually. That's like $320 a month. And there's going to be, well, that's $300. Shut up. Shut your stupid, contrarian, edgelord mouth. That's not a doctor bill, because God knows just because we have insurance doesn't mean that we don't still pay far out the ass when we go to the doctors. People like to be entertained. They want to date. They want to... There's those of you out there that will tell somebody living like this on $75,000 a year before taxes that they are not doing what they're supposed to do, that they should get a second job, that they should get a side hustle, that they should get a better job. And the fact that you would look at somebody with no debt other than a car and say something like this to them means objectively you're a moron and you live in a fantasy world. This is unsustainable.
This is what I'm struggling with in America right now in my 20s. Why is everything so expensive? Why am I making more money waitressing than I would make using my college degree? I barely have a life. I have 2 days off and I work Wednesday to Sunday, doubling just to pay my bills. At 22 years old, all of my bills are in my name. I have no help. How are y'all affording housing? In Myrtle Beach, a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,500. How are y'all getting insurance, going to the doctor, getting medicine? And then some of us are trying to be TikTok influencers. Who knows where that's going to get me? Me and my boyfriend are saving, but we barely see each other during the week, and it feels like we're working our out for nothing. Do we need to move somewhere for a better job opportunity that we don't know about? Do any of y'all really know what you want to do with your life right now? It is so scary being in America right now.
What am I doing wrong? I work every day and I'm still broke. Like, I have a decent job, I make some decent money, but I live out here in Cali. Like, bro, as soon as I get paid, I have all these bills stacked up, bro, that shit wipes me clean. Like, fuck, I got no money left over. Making $100,000 a year doesn't get you anywhere nowadays.
Hi guys, I'm really stressed today. I just went to the grocery store, bought 10 items, and it was $80 freaking already. I literally have $10 left on my account. So a little backstory. I got laid off from my job a month ago. And I've been applying for jobs months before I got laid off. Sent out hundreds of resumes already. Applied to hundreds of jobs on the internet, remote and on-site. Tailored my resume to every position that I applied using ChatGPT. Went to only a few interviews. And still nothing. Like, what the going on with America right now? Like, it's so freaking hard to live here. Like, I'm gonna stay positive. I'm gonna keep applying for jobs. I'm gonna keep showing up. But man, my bills are not going to wait.
Y'all, I just went today and got my driver's license renewed, my car tags renewed, picked up 2 prescriptions, and got a few groceries. To say that I'm completely broke now is an understatement. So I'm going to have to go home and start selling off my furniture to be able to live the rest of the month. I mean, that's just, it's unbelievable. And my heart hurts today. Truly hurts for people who are not able. And we're living in some rough times, really rough times. And we need to be praying for all those around us who are not as fortunate as we are to be able to do the things that we need to do. I'm not talking about extras. I'm not talking about going on vacation and doing fun things. I'm talking about living, taking care of your vehicle, if you can even afford a vehicle, putting groceries on the table, buying medicine, the things you have to do. It's sad. It's very...
Welcome back. Right now, the American economy is trembling. You may see the gas is high, cereals is high, inflation is high, wages don't match the cost of living, people are losing jobs. Credit card debt is at record levels. And even middle-class white families are living paycheck to paycheck for the first time. Many white Americans for the first time are waking up to what black communities have always known, that the so-called American dream is fragile. And for black people, that American dream, it was never built to exist in the first place for black people. See, for generations, white Americans had been having the safety net of privilege. When the economy dipped, they still had wealth in land, inheritance, family businesses, and connections. But today, I'll say this, many of white Americans are discovering that the system they trusted no longer protects them. The very system they benefited from is now betraying them. You see black white farmers crying. You see people are losing, family members because medication is high. It's tough. People are losing jobs. People are living paycheck to paycheck. And for black people, financial struggle has been the story of the existence in America. Black Americans have been going through hell from slavery, where the ancestors built the economy for free, Reconstruction, where laws and violence destroyed each and every attempt of black prosperity, to Jim Crow law, where black people were defined or were denied opportunities, to the modern day, where black people face wage gaps, housing discrimination. So the struggle is not new to black people. When white people talk about losing homes, when white people talk about gas being high, when white people talk about high inflation, when white people talk about grocery going high, I think about how black families were redlined and denied home loans for decades. I think when white people complain about not finding jobs, I think about how black people resumes are tossed away the moment they see the names, where the curriculum vitae are being thrown whenever they notice you are black. When white people talk about debt crushing them, I think about how black students carry the highest student loan debt in the country of US. Black people have carried this weight for so long. That struggle became a part of their DNA in America. Survival became their culture. And now for the first time, white America is tasting the bitter cup. And they don't know how to swallow it. They don't. That's why they are making video out here regretting. They are making videos like saying, I wish I knew, I wish I could do this, I wish I could go there. The system was always built against black people. And here's the truth. The economic system in America was designed to benefit white people. And that's not an opinion, that is history. You could go back to history and see. Slavery gave them free labor. Jim Crow gave them cheap housing. And while they were getting cheap housing, black people were locked out. The GI Bill after World War II gave them homes and education while excluding black veterans. Generations of advantage built wealth for them while denying black people. So for centuries, black people have been on the bottom looking up, knowing the game was rigged all along, but now system is collapsing on itself. The greed of the rich elite, the corruption of Wall Street, the outsourcing of jobs, the endless wars draining tax dollars, all of this is turning the American economy into a nightmare for everyone, not only black, but for everyone. And here's the irony. White people are shocked, but black people are not, just quiet. The reason is because black people have been there before, have been in this movie, they have acted the movie, and we really know how to survive when the system doesn't protect. Black people, for example, have been living in a racism and discrimination. When you walk, you know very well when you enter this bus, when you enter this store, someone is going to follow you, but you are putting your head high. That's what black people have been doing. They have known to survive a place where they are not wanted. Let me talk about survival. When the economy collapses, white Americans panic. They panic. Depression, suicides, despair, because many of them never had to live without comfort before. They have been living under privilege. But black America have always known how to make something out of nothing. Black America are thriving. Black America have the influences of culture even in the midst of all this. Okay? So when food is short, black people stretch meals. When money is tight, they hustle multiple jobs. When jobs aren't hiring, they create their own businesses in the community. They build barber shops, beauty shops, salons, small stores, music industry, all of them. It's a tactic of survival for black people. The resilience of that resilience is why, even though black people have crashed for centuries, we are still thriving. We are still innovating. The difference between black people and white people. Struggle breaks some, but it forged black people into diamonds. For example, when the law was against immigrants and they were forcibly to move from America, white farmers lost people to work in the farms. Black people could not complain that because black people will go to the farm, but white farmers were comfortably exploiting these immigrants, working for them. Now they are no more. It is eating them up. Okay? The American dream told white people, if you work hard, you will have a home. If you work hard, you will have a car. If you work hard, you will secure a job, and your kids will live better than you. So that dream was never given to us. That dream was never given to black people. But now even white people are realizing that the dream was a lie all along. And you have come across video of them saying that American dream was a lie. You have come across the video where they are saying that the America was never great. So the reality is hitting them and they are out here saying the truth. Millions of Americans are working hard, yet living paycheck to paycheck. College graduates are drowning in debts with no jobs. Families are losing homes to banks. Healthcare is unaffordable, and the government is bailing out billionaires instead of helping working people. So for black people, this is not shocking. Okay? For black people, we have always known the American dream was selective. But for white America, this is heartbreaking because they feel betrayed by the system they trusted. Okay? So, in reality, the movement that black people have been on it, the shoutings, the protesting, it was a warning to everyone. It was a warning to Americans because black people tried to warn everyone. For decades, black leaders, black activists, and thinkers warned America about this, what's happening. Black people said that the system is broken. They said the system is greed. They say the system is of exploitation and inequality. They say the system cannot stay forever. They said if you don't fix this, the whole country will collapse. But white American ignored. White American ignored. They called black people lazy. They said that jobs don't pay enough. They called black people lazy when black people said the jobs don't pay enough. They called black people complainers when they said housing was unfair. They called black people irresponsible when they said student debt was destroying them. And they said just work harder. Now look at them right now, working harder than ever and still falling behind. So the same pain they dismissed in black people is now their pain. The same suffering they mocked in black people is now their suffering. And many of them don't even realize that black people are the warning. They don't even realize that. Now, white privilege used the shield. Now, white privilege used to shield them, from the full weight of economic collapse. Even if they struggled, they had family wealth, neighborhood with resources, and systems that favored them. But today, many of these safety nets are gone because you can see the administration that is in right now. The administration now is bringing up the picture of white supremacy. They don't care about you, And DTJ is representing white supremacy. Right now, they are losing jobs. Automation took their jobs. Corporations outsourced their factories. Inflation destroyed their savings. The government they trusted doesn't care about them. Their privilege is no longer enough to protect them from the storm. Now they are standing where black people have always stood, vulnerable and protected, struggling, and it scares them to death. You see, this means that white America has something to learn from black America. I know right now you understand. You have something to learn from black Americans because black Americans have mastered the art of survival in a hostile economy. They have built strength in community. They have created joy even in poverty. They have invented entire cultural industry, music, fashion, art and food out of just struggle. If white America wants to survive what's coming or what is in right now, they must look at how black people survived centuries of oppression. They must learn to rely on communities instead of individualism. They must learn to build with less. They must learn resilience, or they must, instead of entitlement. But sometimes I ask myself, will they humble themselves enough to learn? Or will they continue blaming others instead of facing reality? That's the bigger question here. And this is a turning point of America. This economic crisis is a turning point. America is being forced to face the truth. The system doesn't work anymore. And in the truth, there is both danger and opportunity. The danger is obvious. More poverty, more suffering, more division. It is coming. But the opportunity is this. Maybe, just maybe, America will finally understand what black people have been saying all along. Maybe they will realize that equality, justice, and families are not just moral issues. They are survival issues. Because a system that only works for the rich or only works for one race will eventually collapse on everyone. And that's why both are going on of this. And that's what's happening right now. I'll say this. We look at America today, we must remember that we have been through the storm before. We know how to survive, we know how to thrive, even when the system fails us. White America is just now learning what black people have always been known. And while they panic, let us rise. While they despair, let us create. While they collapse, we endure. That is the power of black people. The ability to turn struggle into strength. The ability to turn pain into power and survival into legacy. My brothers and sisters, tell me what you think on the comments about this video. Until next episode, peace out.